Good evening, folks. What we've got to show you today is I spaced out the metal plate with 1/2-inch nuts for a 1/2-inch 13 bolts. They are actually almost about a 1/2-inch thickness too. So it's just to, you can't see it there, widen it up just a little bit, just to let the cans fly through a little bit easier. That's the hope. And we'll run some cans through it. Got some cans sitting here, and we'll see what happens. The idea later is to put either a 1x1 or a 2x2 piece of metal, and then of course make this plate, the ripple plate, a little bit wider to accommodate. So no further ado, turn it on and see what happens. Okay, bags are empty. So here's the aftermath. Get some top cans. That's pretty nice and flat. And they did go out pretty wide. Let's get the old ruler out and kind of see what we have. So that's pretty lined up there. About 3.5. One's pretty decently flat. Is a good one. Another nice good flat one. Here's a really nice good flat one. At least on the one part. So for the most part, they're turning out to be pretty flat. Here's a good one. That one got real nice and flat. Even that part. Pretty thin. That's what I want. And I can see that this one sprawled out pretty wide. I'll do it this way. Line it up with my eye. Yeah, about 3 3/4. So that's what I was hoping for, is to put this in here. Widen this up a little bit, so when the cans did get wider than 4 inches or got cocked at an angle, that, bring this back to where it's open a bit, they would get cocked at an angle and it would have room to go. That was the hope. So, but at an earlier test run I did have one it curled around here and got stuck on the ripple. And I had to use the rod to get it on through. So obviously if the ripple plates, I use a stick again, if this ripple plate, get some light in there, if this ripple plate it was just as wide as this, it wouldn't be getting stuck. So it would work out really, really well. You know, to help push the cans along and do really good. But I am kind of hoping to take a piece of this, actually 2 pieces of it, and wedge it onto here, which would make this jaw here a 6-inch wide jaw, and there's just enough room to make everything happen. And there's bolt holes here at the top. Got one in the middle. Of course, we got the one down there. And of course, the important thing is that there's a bolt hole here, and of course, there's a bolt hole down there, and of course, one in the middle. How am I going to tighten that when it's at the same height? I'll show you this way. So it would be very difficult and very hard, but my thought is to, on here, bolt the blue arm first, get that where it's supposed to be, and then on the inside have a hole maybe all the way through to bolt it through here. And that's why I've got these bolts here. I'll just put it down there. That's why I've got these bolts set up. I've got a couple more. There we go. Keep things in nice looking order. There. So I've got 4 bolts ready to go. Of course, I'll put some lock washers on there or something. So it'd be 1 bolt, 1 bolt, 1 bolt down there, and then of course the 1 bolt for down here. And it would be a 6-inch wide jaw, which would definitely be wide enough for any pop can. Might actually be able to get 2 pop cans next to each other, which I haven't tested yet, but I wanted to check was how wide are 2 pop cans. Because if 2 could go in there at once, that'd be really pretty cool. Let me move this, get my ruler down here, sort of flat. Okay, we're at the 1-inch mark there. Okay, so we're lined up. Just waiting for focus. There we go. We're lined up at the 1. So there's a 4. There's a 6. That's actually 5 inches. So 5 1/4 inches. The 7, that would be 6 inches total. Or I can actually just do it this way too. So lined up pretty close to, there we go. As we can see, could actually get 2 pop cans in there at the same time if I made this 6 inches wide. Can't really go any wider over here, but I can move some of this stuff a little bit closer. Could. In order to do that, I would have to possibly drill another hole here to relocate for this. And this bottom part, I have to probably leave that there. I'd probably have to relocate those holes over a touch. Probably already make a hole right there. And then of course, you know, hole on the other side to relocate it. Maybe like an inch over. I think. Sorry. So there's about an inch there. And from here, we actually have exactly 1 inch. But you'd also need room. Well, the arm's missing. So that's good. Arm's low enough. Do it that way. The arm's just low enough for the bracket. But obviously, I make it wider on here, I'm going to have to relocate the hole here. And of course, probably have to put a 2-inch spacer in here, because everything would move out. Or just totally remake that to be wider, longer, which is as simple as changing this piece of wood out. So make the wood to accept a little bit wider, or not, or just keep it nice and straight. The wonder and thought too is, could a can be put in that way? So here's the length of said pop can. So we're at 5 inches long. Rotor's just a little bit shiny. Come on, focus. Let's try that. There we go. So can's 5 inches tall. So yeah, in theory, a pop can could go in there that way. We're not wide enough for that to happen at the moment, but if a pop can were to get in there at a decent angle, we would see, you know, what it looks like. You know, sounding kind of boring, but basically just verbally talking through stuff versus trying to type it all out. So let me move these bolts here. Okay, got all 4. So yeah, even if it was at this wide, and if I move it manually, kind of wants to arrange it up a little bit. And the small ripples are really working out good. As you can see, it moves down and gives it a little bit of crunch. I'm moving this by hand with my right hand. And it moves it in a little bit more. It gives it a, there we go, a good crunch. A lot of force there. Must be down low. Oh, there's a lot of force there. Push through it, because I know it works, and then as it drops out. So I might be able to find where that one just went. Obviously it'll be one on top, and it was a green one. So I would assume it was this one. So by hand, that's what it can look like. Too bad. We know the top was at the top and it went through. So we can see the small ripples are doing decent, letting everything go through. So, would like to make it 6 inches wide. I think that would look pretty nice and pretty cool. Just get down in there and get a peek see. But of course I would have to make a ripple plate 6 inches wide. It's more one of those, if I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it nice and big and nice and wide, and with something that wide I'm going to have to just pound those in there. But now that I've got an idea of how it works, it should be pretty easy. And I should be able to cut the length so I'm not short up here. I would rather not drill a whole bunch of holes in there. But of course, with it being wider, would probably be able to look down in between, you know, like with the camera out here or something, would be able to look down in there and see the crushing action going on. Still might think about doing the drilling of the holes here, excuse me, but with it being 6 inches wide, we're at just let this focus. We're almost, 4.5 inches right now. So yeah, 4 inch wide before, you add a 1/2 inch, now 4.5. So those are my thoughts. Those are my wonders. So hopefully, next video that you see should be basically having 2-inch bar here, or I was even thinking of just the 1-inch bar, which is just like this 1-inch bar down here. Same square tube. I was thinking to just have one of those added on to here, and then bolt on some more of this, which reminds me, what is the width of this? Oh, hot damn. We're at 1 inch. That's even nicer. Okay, cool. I was worried it'd be too wide. So, the thought was too of put a 1-inch bar here, put a plate, more of this iron here on top of the 1-inch bar, and made it up to the front of the ripple plate there, just so it doesn't really get stuck in between here. But being that this was an easier test run of putting the 1/2 inch nuts in there, it was easier to test that, because that only took like 15 minutes to put in, not really long. It was easier to try that than try to cut, drill, bolt together, get the right bolts, everything, and try the 1-inch bar on each side. And then of course make another ripple plate to accommodate that. But the 1-inch extra, let me get the measuring ruler here again. If I went 1 inch, there we go, sorry, I was looking outside the tablet. So if I go just 1 more inch wider, there'll still be a lot of room for bolting and everything. But if I go 2 inches wider, see, now we're really talking. And straight on, there's not that much room left. So if I were to hold this here, let's get this pretty close. I know we're at 1/2 inch. Okay, so ruler is set at the plate at ½ inch out, plus the thickness of the plate we're not worried about at the moment. So if we add 2 more inches on, as you can see, got about 2 7/8 of room for this part, which is, I think, about 5/8. So you got 5/8 thick here, and then of course, in a sense, you got to find a way to tighten that bolt, and you got to have room to get that bolt in there too. So that's why I thought if I did the 2x2 tube, just like this, but 2x2, basically it's the same tube as this. So I would bolt this one on first, and then I would install the bar of the 2x2 tube, and then I would put the bottom nut on, bottom bolt, and then top bolts through here, and then of course this is a threaded hole. Run the long bolt through, kind of like what I have going on here. So I've got a nice long bolt straight through. This hole is threaded, but I put a nylon lock nut on it just in case. And there's one at the other end too. Main component of the whole thing, so I didn't want that coming apart. And another reason why it'd be not too good to move this over is I would have to regrind this shaft just a little bit more, because I have this bolt here, and this bolt here going to that flat that's on the shaft. Obviously I would have to grind the shaft a little bit more, and as we can see, not much at the moment peeking through, but it's offset, you know, pretty deep in there. And for some of those wondering, like Kenneth, with the superficial cracks that we saw on the wheel, I put a little line right at the end of the supposed cracks, but they should be they should be forging cracks. Just waiting for this to focus. Come on. Sometime today. Okay, looks a little better. Obviously, if I get too close, can only do so good, I guess. Maybe I get super close. No? Okay. Give it a try. So far, the lines aren't getting anywhere past. Rotate it around a little bit. Yep, looking pretty good there. Of course, that one I put towards the end, so that's doing alright. I'm looking with my eyes not through the tablet. This one here is doing okay. It's not passed. Doesn't seem like it's passed. Even had a little one there, so gave it a look-see. And now we're back to these little ones. So they're just casting cracks, which is fine. They're not actual stress cracks, which is really good. Alrighty, so took enough of your guys' time. Just put my ruler away. So hope you enjoyed the test crushing with a little bit of the gappage there, and hope you enjoyed the little talk that I had with it, just to see what's what and everything. Rather talk about it than type it out. You've seen from the long paragraphs that I can type a good and go from there. Just kind of pausing for a good thumbnail. Trying to get a good spot here. Again, no clickbait. What you see is what you get. Always check the title or description. See if we can, there we go, bring it down nice and good. Okay, that looks decent. You guys have a good one, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.